it's working.
I'll have to figure out how to work it on YouTube so that when somebody is inquiring about different things, it'll pop to the top.
So anyway, we are live recording, so.
So what is the formal nuisance ordinances? I got emails on the
Oh,
news.
it's taken care of.
Oh, okay. So I can just get rid of it?
Or you can keep it for posterity or whatever, but yeah.
That's something we're going to be discussing?
They were visited early this morning.
You have to look in here, and Dan Lund is one of the new anesthetists. On page 3, you have,
Buzz?
yeah, he looks so different. I said, I suppose I can't call him Danny anymore. Would you have recognized, I mean, he probably comes in the store.
I don't know. I don't know if I would have.
Hello, you get to come here to play tonight, huh?
All right, we got 1, 2, 3.
Ron will not be here. And the clock is exactly right. Roy helped me set it today, put a new battery in.
I thought you were gonna
Did you get on his
send
shoulders
Scott
or
up
something?
there. I thought you were gonna send Scott up there in
Well,
maintenance.
Scott, you know, I don't know, Scott apparently is afraid to get up that high. He's kind of been,
Next time Scott goes up, I split up the top.
Yeah.
something about he couldn't get the bucket truck in here, I don't know.
No, just one that you don't have to change the battery every couple months. Oh, yeah.
It likes to go by its own time.
All right, I guess that means we'll call the City of Staples City Council meeting to order. Start with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome. We will start right away with the approval of tonight's agenda. And a
Second.
Motion by Roy, second by Mary. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Just maybe a reminder, if your green button isn't on your microphone, they turn it on.
Is mine supposed to be red? Yeah, that one's, okay.
Then we'll move on to item number 3, and that's to approve our consent calendar, which is minutes of the previous meeting and payment of bills. Motion by Roy.
3 seconds.
Take a picture.
John, will second by John. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That'll move us to item number 4, and that's to consider approval of off-sale liquor license for Two Rivers Liquor Incorporated, which will be doing business as the Liquor Depot. I think in your packet is the application, and I think some letters from Chief Burkholz.
Chief Burkholz included letters on all 4 of the property owners, and then there's also the off-sale liquor license, and the tobacco license application included in your packets. Basically, a change of ownership.
So moved.
Motion by Mary and second by John. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
The motion carried. That moves us to item number 5, and that's to consider approval of tobacco license for Two Rivers Liquor Incorporated. Should be doing business as the Liquor Depot. Was that Doug?
Yep.
Okay, motion by Doug,
Second.
second by Tom. Any discussion?
Do they already sell tobacco products?
I believe
Is
so.
this a new?
Is there anyone, sorry,
Do they currently sell tobacco products or is this a new? So this is brand new, okay.
Guess I was wrong. Any other discussion or questions? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Aye. Okay, motion carried. That'll move us to item number 6, and that's to determine our rescheduled meeting time and date for regular scheduled council meeting on April 13th due to the ISD 2170 referendum election.
We could meet at 8, correct?
Meet at 8 or prior to 6. We would have to be
Oh,
done by 6.
Meet at 8. I move that we meet at 8. We have to have a motion.
Motion to move at 8, or to meet at 8 o'clock?
Second.
Second by Mary. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's too hard to change a date.
Yeah, no, a motion carried. No, it's fine. Okay, then that'll move us into commission reports. There's 2 of them. I guess we'll start with Public Works. Welcome, Scott.
Mine's gonna be short. It's, the commission meeting was just updates. So there's not a lot in the old business that needs to be discussed. Other than I will mention on the, they're going to extend the cold weather rule, most likely. That's the talk in the legislature, which will probably be a permanent thing. So they'll add 2 weeks into October. Start October 1st, so they'll put in 2 weeks on the front end of October and add 2 weeks on the back end of April. But I was just doing a little bit of a review today on our delinquent accounts, and from what I've seen from other utilities, we're doing pretty good as far as collections. So we're doing fine. There is some talk that they'll let the cold weather rule expire when its time comes, which there was talk of continuing it into June because of the pandemic, but we'll see. But like I said, as we're moving along, we're doing okay. I think Darcy and I have finally got a hang of doing this with dealing with COVID and stuff. But a couple things on the other business. Probably heard about the large increases in the utility rates in some different places, and I don't think that, I know we weren't, our transmission provider was not affected by that, so we'll be fine there. Some natural gas utilities in Minnesota were affected, but it seemed like the ones that came on took their gas from a southern pipeline where, like Minnesota Energy, I believe, gets it from Viking, I think, but it doesn't appear that we're going to have any real ill effects. So we're doing better than a lot of people. And then one thing that wasn't on this, but we did have a water main break, but happened to be on a street that none of the customers were served off of that water main, and it had 2 valves that were able to isolate it without anybody being shut off. So we started digging at 8 o'clock, and I think like 10:30 it was done. So no big deal. And that's all I've got, unless anybody's got any questions.
You did say that some of the people that received the letters about their utility bills being put on their taxes have come in and paid.
Some have, yeah.
Yep. So that's good.
Yeah, and we will still continue to use those methods when necessary, but we've I've read that, some places they're having like 15% of their customers are behind. We're right around 10 or less, give or take, we could be right around that 10%, so I'm not too concerned.
Any questions for Scott? Thank you. That'll move us to the Staples Economic Development Authority. I think we have Melissa on the TV or Zoom or whatever.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Yep, we did meet on February 23rd. New business, it's kind of exciting. We were able to assist with some business transitions, and the board did approve a gap loan request for Liquor Depot, or as you guys just approved tonight, Two Rivers, and then doing business as Liquor Depot, and then also one for Williams Floral. The gap loan request for Liquor Depot was $30,000, and the other one was $15,000. So we were able to participate in those loans, which is really exciting. That those businesses are going to stay open. Give an update on the business response. Did participate in the Todd County Grant Review Committee, and they have opened that up. I'm still waiting for additional details. But they did reopen that as they weren't able to disperse all the dollars with their requirements, and so they're trying to get additional dollars out the door. In addition to that, we've just been continuing to meet with the Todd Wadena economic developers and chamber coordinators or directors. Gave an update. The CETA did approve a IQ magazine ad. We are splitting a full page with the Discover Staples, so that will be showing up in the next two IQ magazine series or issues. The Connecting Entrepreneurial Communities, we are continuing to meet. As you may recall, we were selected to host that conference in 2020. We have been moved back to the 2021 conference, which will take place in September this year. We anticipate being able to do in person, although we are planning for both options or a combo of the two, being virtual or in person, or like I said, some sort of combination of the two. So more to come on that as we figure out more details as everything moves forward, but it's going to be very similar to what we were planning in 2020. Let's see, welcoming communities. We, that group, I don't know if you all recall, we did receive a grant through the Region 5 Development Commission to work on assessment and do some projects around becoming a more welcoming community. We did identify 2 projects that we want to do. The one that I am leading is around implicit bias and training for our businesses. And with that, it's grown into collaboration with a lot of different organizations, including Minnesota Chamber, Staples Chamber, the Brainerd Welcoming Communities Group, DEED, and then the Staples Chamber. I don't know if I put that in there. So along with that, we're also looking at a relationship with CLC about a customized training program that we could implement to assist our businesses with receiving a designation that would assist them with attracting more employees. See, Bachelor Block Opera House, we have been able to raise the $10,000 that we needed to get our consultant started. And so we are working with that fundraising consultant and moving forward with that process to identify our strategy for raising that $7 million. Or right now we are in the assessment period, and we will find out if $7 million is a feasible dollar amount and go from there. Great group working on that, and if anybody's interested in participating on some level, you don't have to be a large donor to participate. We are looking for people who would like to be part of the fundraising committee for that, so let me know if you're interested. We talked a little bit about multiple business transitions. Tower Pizza has new owners, Williams Floral, Liquor Depot, just that there's been some interest in our community from some other businesses. including commercial and industrial. Very preliminary, but then, hopefully they go somewhere. The good news is that we have some interest. So, and then we did receive an update from Tim on Lakewood and COVID and how things are going around that area. Otherwise, we ended our meeting at 5:49. If you have any questions, let me know.
Okay, thank you. Any questions for Melissa? All right, thank you. All right, well, that moves us on to open forum.
Well, I did bring the Lakewood Health System Annual Hospital District Report. I represent the city of Staples on the district board, and I just call your attention to this document. We had to make a lot of changes in our staffing during the COVID, and we closed the Motley Clinic and the Eagle Bend Clinic 2 times during it. They are both fully open again. We've added new providers, which is always wonderful. And there's information in here on the various programs, but every 3 years, we have to do a community health needs assessment. That is done in conjunction with Wadena, Tri-County Hospital, the Long Prairie, or Little Falls Hospital, the counties. And I think there are 3 needs identified, and one is food disparities. And so if we look in here where we talk about what we do as a system under that, I think it's, I'll have to find the page number. It just fascinates me, the amount of okay, it's on page 9. Our access, we distributed 6 tons of food and 11,000 meals. We did a program during the COVID time, so people who have been hospitalized were given 2 weeks of frozen meals, and that was through the Eagle Bend Hilltop Kitchen, thank you. And that was well received, and there are meals when people are diagnosed with heart disease or some other diabetes, and they're given education on good food. And then we are in a partnership with the Soda Grown, where they're growing kale, and that's being distributed through the community. So we had a very clean audit this year that was just completed, and I'm proudly say that we handled the COVID outbreak, and people love getting their vaccines at the fish house, so. That's my report.
Thank you, Mary. Anybody else? Anything for open forum? Okay, we'll move on to a COVID-19 update.
A couple items, not a lot changed at the state level, other than more and more vaccines are becoming available. And I think the governor, I didn't actually listen to the announcement today, but I think he was supposed to be opening it up to the next 2 tiers. Don't know what all the details of those are, but that's good news, that the people that do want them are being provided access to the vaccines. Federal legislation, everybody's been hearing about the $1.9 trillion package. The House had their version, the Senate has their version. Needs to obviously be ironed out in conference committee. But there are dollars that are more than likely going to come out of that for state and local governments, including cities and counties. don't know at this point until the final bill is passed and signed exactly what that dollar amount would end up being for the city of Staples. But one of the things that, that we've expressed some concern with our state legislators, as far as the initial CARES Act allocation was that as a local unit of government, we have not been able to use that to make up for any kind of lost revenue. Whether it's in, water, electric, sewer, community center, parks, whatever, there was no opportunity. This time around, that is one of the identified uses. So when that finally does pass and the details get worked out, and, we'll obviously have a conversation at the council as far as how those dollars should be allocated. But I think, from the city's perspective, that's a good thing. You can argue politically about, the amount of money that's going out, but that lost revenue piece is something that, private businesses have had access to in the form of PPP or idle grants or whatever, where similar types of operations operated by municipalities have not had access to that. So we'll keep you up to speed on that as it gets formalized and actually passed and filters down from Washington. Jumping down to City Administrator's Report, June 11th, which is a Friday from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock will be our citywide cleanup. We'll be doing it down at our normal location at the street shop. And both SW Recycling and also Long Prairie Sanitation, that's the date that worked for both of them. It's probably a week maybe later than we would normally do it, but it is what we have available to us. So also local option sales tax, the resolution that the council passed back in January. We have our first hearing on Thursday afternoon with the House Property Tax Division. They tell us that we have 5 minutes. So it'll be a very brief presentation. I think Representative Poston will probably take 1 to 2, and Chris and I will take it from there, I guess.
Just don't let me talk.
Yeah, it's going to be fairly quick, but I think with the information that's been provided to them, they should certainly be able to see the need that we have at the community center. The other thing, we talked earlier when we rescheduled the meeting about the school referendum coming up on the 13th. We've been doing a fair amount of data gathering and also having conversations about what role the city may end up playing in that from an infrastructure standpoint, both streets, water, sewer, storm sewer in and around primarily the high school building. If the main entrance is flipped to the to the west side of the building, Second Street, the sewer and water and stuff in there is, I think, 1920s era. But we've had Joel and Leroy and Bruce out there basically identifying where everything is at, what size it is, and if the referendum is successful, we'll provide that information to the school district engineers and architects and work with them to figure out what we need to do. One of the things that I do want to avoid is more buildings over the top of sewer mains, water mains. We've got a couple of different examples of that over there that someday are going to come back and bite firmly. So anyway, but step number 1 is figure out exactly what's over there, and then we can figure out what our options are from there. Also, we've been spending a fair amount of time looking at different software to help with licensing, of all types, whether it's liquor license, tobacco license. The big one is rental licensing. And then also permitting and code enforcement to be able to really track, input the data, and have access to that. We've looked at a couple of different software providers on that thus far. So I think I maybe mentioned that here a couple of weeks ago. And then lastly, unfortunate for us, happy for Diane, Diane is going to be retiring the end of June. And so the process will be starting almost immediately to hire a new city clerk, finance director. I'll be working with, through Sourcewell with David Drown Associates again on that. And the goal would be to have at least a couple of week overlap the second half of June for training and orientation. So sorry to see Diane go, but happy for her.
Did something that,
And that is all I have, unless there's questions.
any questions for Gerald?
I move that we adjourn. Second?
A motion by Roy and second by Tom to adjourn. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Adjourned.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Figured that's the one time.